Hey everybody, welcome to Valentine TV. I want to welcome everybody. Y'all please hit the like, subscribe, share the video if you can. If you see that hype button, please hype up the video. Um Tonight's reaction is coming from KADISHALYNN. This is also a part 2 of the first one that I just did about the pictures. Um y'all uh TMZ is trying to outdo the investigator on this, y'all. They didn't just told some stuff, and I'm sure they weren't supposed to tell it yet. They weren't supposed to tell it yet as far as David being a suspect. But TMZ wanted to get one up on the investigator, so they went ahead and broke it. Now it's all over the place. So to me, the investigators still outdid it. I don't know how the LAPD feel about this getting out as far as now David knowing that he's a suspect, and not only David is they said that he didn't do it alone. So let's see what KADISHALYNN has to say about all of this, and I'll be back with what I have to say. Okay, hold on one second.
David is now being viewed as a suspect in the investigation into what happened to Celeste Rivas Fernandez. And this information is being reported by multiple different outlets. Police talked to NBC4 out of Los Angeles, and they told them that Celeste's death likely occurred in the spring and that David likely had help in dismembering and disposing of her. And I want you guys to pay attention to a really big thing that they say here. David likely had help in dismembering and disposing of Celeste. Not only is it a huge deal that we are getting confirmation that Celeste was dismembered, but we are also
I wonder who
hearing them say that
I wonder who the help came from, since his manager that helped that got the apartment, the condo, the whatever, $20,000 a month, said that he didn't even know anything about it, nothing. All right. That he didn't know how old Celeste was. He may have seen her maybe one time, stuff like that. Just pulling himself on out of it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I don't think he would have a hand in it, but you never know. And then I also heard it's a group that's it's like a, I don't want to say cult, but like people that write their name like David, like with that 4 and then that VD at the end, or just a 4 in the name somewhere. This is what they do, and I heard it's a group of them somewhere. I have to find it, but anyway, I just wanted y'all to know that. So I don't know if that's what the LAPD was working on, and such had to go ahead and tell David he was a suspect before they could round up the rest of them. But he had help from somebody. That's what they say. All right.
they don't think that David acted alone. Now I want to
Let
give
me
my
make
opinion
sure.
on why I
Let
think
me make sure y'all
them
got
say
all
that
of
they
it.
don't think that David acted alone. Now, I want to give my opinion on why I think they are coming out with this information saying that they are viewing David
TMZ,
as a suspect.
crazy.
We are seeing being confirmed by multiple different outlets that David has not cooperated and has never
See?
cooperated with police. And I think that they are putting this information out there to get one of the people close to him to crack. This is a huge.
And I think they put it out there because TMZ went ahead and put it out there before the LAPD was ready for David to know that he was a suspect. They was rounding everybody up. That's what that was. So TMZ always want to be first in everything, but that darn PI did this. He kept us in the loop, okay?
Close to him to crack. This is a huge tactic that you will see police take when they are trying to nail somebody on a case, because it's going to frighten them to know that David is now a suspect in an unaliving case, and they're also looking at somebody around him. Mark my words, I think this is exactly why we are all of a sudden finally hearing the department break their silence about all of this. They go on to report that Celeste was found in the front trunk of David's Tesla, and her remains were in a bag, and they confirmed once again that.
And she was dismembered. She was dismembered. That's why they said she weighed what, 71 pounds? I mean, the part that they had of her. Remember, at first they said it was the head and the torso. Now they're saying that she was dismembered and then decomposed. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God, that poor little girl. Poor little dang man.
Were in a
Oh, sorry.
bag, and they confirmed once again that law enforcement sources told them that the remains were not intact. NBC in Los Angeles is also confirming that David has never cooperated with this
See?
investigation, despite earlier reports that he was cooperating, and he still has not cooperated with the police. And this is not the only report that talks about David not cooperating with the authorities. ABC7 out of Los Angeles is reporting that David is not cooperating with the investigation of the passing of Celeste Rivas Hernandez and has never cooperated with this investigation. And even TMZ is reporting the same exact headline with more information about this. According
Of course, TMZ, y'all just watch. Watch how TMZ, you know, the word what they reporting, and then think about all the information that the investigator, because he said he didn't want to step on LAPD's toes, so he kept some stuff to himself, but he would turn what he found over to the LAPD. They had a plan, and with Tim Z, in my opinion, wanting to be the first of everything, just maybe blew the whole case, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Because they was working on something in secret and in private. They didn't want David to know he was a freaking suspect. That's why they said he was not a suspect. They can't find this. They waiting on the toxicology report to come in. All of that stuff. They trying to make him get sloppy and then find all them other four friends. You know, the D4VD, you know, all of them kind of people. Because it's a gang of them. I've already heard that. When this story first came out, they was talking about it. Okay? But let's see what all TMZ gonna tell.
to the source that talked to TMZ, there is no paperwork that is classifying David as a suspect, but one of their sources told them that investigators are looking at David as a suspect. Source also told TMZ that they are viewing Celeste's death as a homicide, even though the medical examiner has yet to determine the cause or manner of her passing. Investigators are still waiting for toxicology results. This source also told TMZ that the police investigation revealed that around spring of 2025, David took a trip in the middle of the night to a remote area of Santa Barbara County and remained there for several hours. TMZ does say that they did not double source that information, but it is also unclear why a spring trip would be on the LAPD's radar. TMZ goes on to say that we have not been able to find a photo or video of Celeste since September of 2024, but that's not the case. We know this because just about a week ago, new photos
Exactly, the PI found some.
were released by the PI that is investigating this case. This photo of Celeste was taken on December 30th of 2024, and this came from David's camera that was found by this private investigator in the LA home after he moved out. Mind you, the private investigator Steve Fisher said the last photo on this camera that he has of Celeste and that he has saw since investigating all of this was January 2nd of 2025. And he's been trying to pinpoint if anybody has saw her past the date of January 2nd of 2025. This is huge news that everybody has kind of been waiting for. We are now hearing from
Exactly.
multiple different news sources that David is being viewed as a suspect by investigators. We are also hearing that he never cooperated with the investigation and still isn't cooperating.
Yeah.
Being confirmed that Celeste was in fact dismembered and that they are looking into other people because they don't believe that David acted alone. They believe that he had help. And remind you, this kind of squares up with what Steve Fisher said also, because the way he talked about somebody moving the Tesla, it sounds like there was people around David
Thank
that
you.
probably knew what was going on. Also learning that they are treating Celeste's passing as an unaliving case. This is probably one of the main reasons why they have been so tight-lipped about this whole entire situation, because if they come with the wrong charges too early
Right.
before having results from like the autopsy, they could mess up the whole entire case. But I do feel like we're starting to get to the point where we're probably going to have some big answers, and we're probably going to have them sooner than later. Y'all, let me know
Good.
what you guys think about all this in the
Y'all, now y'all see what I was saying? They told him he wasn't a suspect. They are looking into other stuff, but TMZ had to jump on it in the front, trying to be the lead of everything. But that PI just stomped over them. They talking about because ain't nobody seen Celeste since whatever 24. They was like, no, he had the camera that he developed, and there go the last photo right there. Cause right behind that photo was David holding a knife to the like in the air. You could see it like he was cutting the moon or something. But he had the forgive me, YouTube. But he had a yink, yink, yink. But he had it right there, like at the moon. And that was the picture right after this, where it's showing her with two heads. I mean, it's just weird. All of it's just weird. So we just gonna wait around, see what's going on next. But this just came out, y'all. So finally, I got something early enough that I could share with y'all. All right, so y'all, I thank y'all for coming to Valentine TV. Y'all, please like, share, subscribe to the video, hype it up if you can. I appreciate all of y'all. All right, and also KADISHALYNN, YouTube, and on TikTok. Thank y'all so much. All right, good night.